Welcome to Dreamy Sleep Tales. Tonight, prepare to journey beyond the edge of slumber into a hidden world where moonlight weaves magic and forgotten dreams awaken. As the silver petals of Lenora drift around you, you'll meet guardians of memory. Cast aside your deepest doubts and soar on wings of pure hope. Before we begin, make sure you're nestled in a comfortable place. Snuggle under your blankets, dim the lights, and slip on your headphones. Find a spot where you can fully let go, breathe deeply, and surrender to the forest's gentle lullaby. Ready your heart for wonder, dear listener, and let the adventure of the forest where dreams wait carry you into the sweetest dreams. Elion lay awake beneath the pale glow of his window lantern, heart fluttering to a lullaby only he could hear. Outside the village slept, roofs tiled in soft shadows, lanterns dimming in gentle sighs. Yet within Elion's chest, restlessness stirred, as though something beyond the starry sky called his name. A sudden hush settled over the night. The wind stilled. Then, like a whisper given shape, a single silver petal drifted through his open window and settled on his pillow. Elion blinked, reaching out to touch its iridescent edge. In that instant, he felt the tug of a distant memory, the pure thrill of childhood kite flying on a summer afternoon when the sky held no limit. His pulse quickened. More petals, dozens, floated in, swirling around him like fireflies caught in moonlight. He rose on shaking legs, following their faint glow past the doorway, down the hall, and out into the sleeping street. The world seemed hushed and new, painted in violet and moonlit silver. At the end of the lane, where gnarled oaks whispered secrets, a hidden path appeared, lined with petals that pulsed with quiet promise. Elion's breath caught as he stepped barefoot onto the mossy trail. Every footfall sent ripples of pale light dancing through the night. Somewhere deep in his mind, he recognized this path, not from any map or story, but from a dream so long forgotten, he thought it lost forever. Fireflies drifted like tiny lanterns, guiding him beneath branches woven in amethyst leaves. Each trunk bore faint runes carved by an unseen hand, and the air thrummed with an ancient melody. It was a song of remembrance, the sound of a heart recalling its truest desire. Ahead lay a clearing bathed in lunar brilliance. The full, lavender-tinted moon hovered above an ancient pool of glassy water, its surface so still it might have been a mirror. Around the pool's edge grew the heartroot tree, its trunk wide and spiraling, bark flecked in silver veins, petals shimmering like starlight. Elion paused at the threshold. His pulse slowed as a soft voice echoed through the clearing. Neither seen nor heard, but felt within his chest. Welcome, dreamer. What have you carried too long? He swallowed. He remembered now why the forest called. Long ago, he had dreamed of flight, building wooden wings, soaring above the clouds. But fear had weighed him down. The voices of grown-ups had told him such dreams were for children. So he tucked that lofty wish away, buried it beneath responsibility and doubt. The voice came again, tender as a lullaby. To reach your dream, you must leave behind what holds you here. Elion knelt at the pool's edge, gaze fixed on his reflection, and beyond it, the clearer image of a boy with wings of moonlight. His heart trembled. Here in this forest between sleep and waking, he could ask the heartroot for one true thing. But the price was this: let go of fear, regret, and all the shadows in his mind. A single tear fell into the pool, sending concentric ripples that caught the moon's glow. Elion closed his eyes and whispered, "I choose hope." With that vow, the clearing brightened. The heartroot's petals unfurled in a burst of gentle light, and the air sang with promise. Elion felt warmth unfurl in his chest as though his buried dream had awakened. His journey had only just begun. Elion rose as the heartroot's glow receded into 1,000 drifting petals, each a whisper of possibility. The forest around him seemed to lean in, its amethyst leaves trembling with anticipation. Somewhere, a distant melody played, notes woven from starlight and distant memories. Stepping away from the pool, Elion followed a path of scattered petals that wound deeper into Lunora. The air was perfumed with moonflowers, their silver blossoms opening only for those who dared to believe. Each breath he took felt lighter, as if the forest itself exhaled weight from his shoulders. Soon, the path split at an ancient arch of twisted vines. To the left, shadows danced behind curved trunks. To the right, crystalline streams chuckled like old friends. As he hesitated, a pair of golden eyes flickered from the darkness. From behind a broad oak emerged the watchful owl of old thoughts, its plumage a tapestry of midnight and starlight, feathers tipped in glowing runes. It alighted on a branch above him, head tilting as if studying every beat of his heart. Child of forgotten dawn, it hooted softly, voice echoing like wind through chimes. Why tread Lunora's path with heavy footsteps? Elion met its gaze. I seek to reclaim what I lost, he replied, voice steady. My dream of flight. The owl blinked slowly. Then you must first cast aside the burdens you carry. With that, it spread its wings. As moonbeams danced on its feathers, Elion felt memory surface. Echoes of scolding laughter when he sketched wings in math class, the ache of embarrassment when his kite snapped free of its string and soared away. He began, but the owl's gaze held him still. Speak no more, it whispered. Then, with a gentle flap, the owl descended and brushed its wing against Elion's shoulder. In that touch, every memory of doubt and shame unfurled and evaporated like morning mist. Elion gasped, feeling lighter than air, as if fear itself had drained away. Go now, the owl intoned, lifting into the violet sky. The mirror wolf awaits. Guided by drifting petals and starlit whispers, Elion continued along the path until the trees opened onto a moonlit meadow. There, a silver river wound like liquid mercury, and along its banks stood the laughing river of lost time. Not a creature, but a cascade of living water that giggled as it flowed. Each ripple carried echoes of moments he had let slip away. Childhood laughter, conversations cut short, songs half sung. The river's voice rang like tinkling bells. What time remains if you waste it regretting what's gone? It asked. Elion knelt by the edge. He watched his reflection dance with the moonlight. I want time to forgive me, he whispered. For every moment I let fear steal my wings. The river laughed, a sound like sunlight on rippling waves, then let go. With that, it surged forward and splashed cool water over Elion's hands. Instantly, every pang of regret washed away, carried downstream into oblivion. Elion's heart soared on newfound currents of freedom. Ahead, under a cluster of moonlit willows, he saw a silhouette move, tall, graceful, and cloaked in shifting silver shadows. His final test awaited. The mirror wolf of regret. And so, with unburdened spirit and hope aflame, Elion pressed forward to face the last guardian and claim his dream. Elion's footsteps whispered through the silver grass as he approached the grove of moonlit willows. Their drooping branches formed an emerald curtain, and beyond them lay a statue-like figure, tall, lithe, and shining like molten moonlight. Eyes of polished obsidian reflected every star in the sky. The mirror wolf of regret rose on silent paws, its coat shifting between shadow and light, as if woven from midnight dreams. "Why have you come?" The wolf's voice rippled in Elion's mind, soft yet unyielding. "Do you seek escape, or do you crave transformation?" Elion steadied his breath. "I come to become whole," he answered. "To claim my dream of flight without the weight of what I cannot change." The wolf padded closer, tail sweeping the luminous grass. In its gaze, Elion saw every misstep he had ever made. Friends he'd neglected, moments he'd traded for safe choices, laughter he'd left behind. The wolf circled, and images flickered across its fur like living portraits. "Tell me," it murmured, "which regret do you hold closest to your heart?" Elion's throat tightened. He remembered promising an old friend he'd teach him to fly a kite. But when schoolwork piled up, he stayed home and let the promise slip away. His friend's disappointed gaze haunted him still. "I regret letting him down," Elion whispered. The wolf stopped, leaning close until its breath felt like cool moon air on his cheek. "Then share it," it said. With a gentle nudge, the mirror wolf pressed its head against him. In that moment, Elion felt the years of guilt scorch away, replaced by tender warmth. Tears glimmered on his cheeks as he forgave himself and imagined his friend's smiling face, kite soaring overhead under an endless sky. The wolf's obsidian eyes softened. It turned, vanishing into a mist of silver, leaving behind only the echo of a grateful howl. Elion exhaled, heart lighter than ever. Before him stretched a narrow path of moonbeams arching upwards toward a distant hill. At its crest stood the heartroot tree, petals closed tight around a waiting promise. As he climbed, the moon dipped low, transforming the path into a stairway of lunar light. Fireflies flickered around him, guiding each step. No shadows lurked here, only the soft glow of hope illuminating his way. At the top, the heartroot tree awaited, silent and regal. Its petals gleamed like pearls, yet remained unopened. The air thrummed with anticipation. Elion approached, placing a trembling hand on the trunk. You have shed your fears, your doubts, your regrets. A voice whispered from within the tree. Now speak your truest wish. Elion closed his eyes, feeling the night breeze stir his hair. In his mind, he saw himself rising above the treetops, heart soaring in perfect freedom. He opened his mouth and spoke clearly. I wish to become the dream I once abandoned, to fly beyond limits, unbound. At once, the heartroot shivered. Petals unfurled in a blossom of soft light, drifting upward like silken wings. The moon's glow intensified, pooling around Elion's feet. He felt a warm pressure on his back, gentle, expansive, alive. Opening his eyes, Elion gasped. Across his shoulders, delicate wings of moonlight had blossomed, each feather shimmering with hope. He flexed them once and lifted, rising above the hill in a whispered sigh of wonder. Below, Lulunora bowed in silent celebration. The heartroot's petals drifted down, settling on the grass like stardust. Elion hovered for a moment, heart swelling with joy, before directing his flight toward the glowing horizon. Elion's heart pounded with a thrilling rhythm as he soared above Lunora's violet canopy. His wings unfurled, each feather aglow with silvery luminescence that painted the forest beneath in shifting patterns of starlight. The cool night air rushed past him, carrying the heady scent of moonflowers and ancient wood. Below, fireflies traced his flight path like fleeting phantoms, and the heartroot tree's glow receded into the distance, its promise fulfilled. Elion dipped and glided, delight unfurling in his chest. For the first time, he felt truly weightless. No burden of fear, no whisper of doubt, only the pure exhilaration of flight. As he drifted over the laughing river of lost time, its waters chimed in greeting, ripples sparkling where moonlight touched. The watchful owl of old thoughts swooped alongside him, silent wings beating in perfect harmony. The owl's golden eyes reflected a knowing pride. Elion had passed every test. He landed softly on a mossy knoll where petals from the heartroot floated like drifting snow. Tucking one luminous feather into his satchel, he knelt and closed his eyes, remembering the journey that had changed him. "Thank you," he whispered to the silent night. A gentle breeze answered, carrying the echoes of the forest's gratitude. Elion rose, newfound confidence lifting his shoulders. With one last look at the world below, he spread his wings and climbed toward the lavender moon, following a path only winged dreamers could find. Soon the stars themselves seemed to lean closer, guiding him along a ribbon of earthlight woven through the sky. Here, above the clouds, everything felt possible. He banked left, marveling at the constellations shimmering in familiar patterns. And then, far below, the village lights twinkled like a field of terrestrial stars. Elion's thoughts turned homeward. He knew he could stay here forever, dancing among the heavens. Yet a gentle tug reminded him of the promise he carried, to share the magic of Lenora with the world below. With a soft sigh of contentment, he turned and glided toward the earth, wings beating in a graceful arc. Dawn's first light crept over the horizon as Elion guided his luminous wings through soft pink clouds. With each beat, he felt the pulse of Lenora still thrumming in his veins. Though the forest lay hidden behind the veil of sleep, its magic now dwelt within him. Below, the quiet village stirred. Chimneys puffed gentle smoke, and tiled roofs glowed with the promise of morning. Elion descended in a spiral of silvery flight. alighting softly on the roof of his own home. He folded his wings close, each feather settling like a memory laid to rest. Slipping through his window, Elion found his room transformed. The wooden floorboards glimmered faintly where petals had fallen, and the single silver petal on his pillow now pulsed with a gentle light. In his satchel lay the heartroot feather, its glow steady and warm. He rose at last, stepping barefoot onto the sunlit floor. Every sense felt heightened. Colors brighter, sounds clearer. Even his own heartbeat, a reminder of the journey he'd undertaken. He walked quietly down the hall, careful not to wake his parents, and paused at his bedroom door. Beyond it awaited the real prize, a drawing he had made long ago but never shared. Kneeling by his desk, Elion lifted up the parchment. Sketches of wooden wings, of soaring birds, of a boy dancing among the clouds. He'd forgotten how he'd drawn it. The pencil strokes shaky but filled with wonder. With a smile, he pressed the heartroot feather to the paper. It vibrated once, then several times, and glowed brighter until the drawing shimmered and lifted off the page. The lines rippled with life, transforming into a miniature whirl of moonlight that drifted toward the window. Elion opened it wide. The miniature wings swooped through the frame and soared into the morning air, trailing silver light that glimmered like a shooting star. He watched it ascend, heart full, knowing that his dream was no longer confined to ink and paper. It lived in every breath he took. Soft footsteps sounded behind him. His mother stood in the doorway, rubbing sleep from her eyes. When she saw the glowing feather and the vanished drawing, her gaze turned to Elion, wings folded gently at his back, eyes alight with wonder. "Elion?" she whispered. He held out the heartroot feather. "I found Lenora," he said softly, "and learned that dreams never truly vanish. They just wait for us to remember." Tears glistened in his mother's eyes. She stepped forward and embraced him as dawn's rosy light spilled into the room. Elion felt the warmth of home and the magic of Lenora entwined in that moment. Proof that courage, hope, and belief could awaken the extraordinary within the ordinary. As the sun climbed higher, Elion tucked the glowing feather into a small box on his desk. The door to Lenora might close until the next century, but its gift remained with him always. Wings of moonlight born of his own reclaimed dream. And so, with heart unburdened and spirit alight, Elion began his day, carrying the forest's ancient lullaby within him, forever guided by the promise that the bravest journey is the one that leads us back to our true selves. The days that followed felt touched by moonlight. Every sunrise carried a faint glow in Elion's heart, reminding him of Lunora's hush and the music of silver petals. As he walked through the village, ordinary sights, dew-laced flowers, fluttering birds, children's laughter, seemed imbued with hidden wonder, waiting to be discovered by those who dared to look. Each night, before closing his eyes, Elion would reach for the small box on his desk. Inside lay the heartroot feather, its gentle luminescence pulsing like a shared heartbeat. He'd hold it close enough to feel warmth seep into his palm, and remember the forest where dreams wait. One evening, as the lavender moon rose high, Elion crept into the attic of his home. There, under a beam of silvery light from the attic window, he unveiled his cherished plans. A pair of handcrafted wings built from feathers, wood, and wire, his childhood dream given form. With tender care, he fastened the heartroot feather at the keel, infusing his creation with Lunora's promise. Beneath the moonlit window, he donned the wings. They felt weightless, alive with possibility. Heart thrumming, Elion stepped onto the ledge. But instead of leaping, he closed his eyes and breathed deeply, recalling the forest's hush. In his mind, he soared above canopies of amethyst leaves, guiding his wings with newfound confidence. A steady breeze caressed him, and he gingerly lifted off. The wings held firm, buoyed by conviction and the lingering magic of the heartroot. Below, the village lights twinkled in awe. Elion glided across the rooftop, then swept down toward the open square where his friends had gathered for the midsummer festival. Children gasped in delight as he swept overhead, trailing silver light like a comet's tail. Parents pointed, bewildered and enchanted. Elion dipped in a gentle arc, touching down at the square's edge. He folded his wings, now more symbols of hope than mere wood and feather. A small voice piped up. Elion, how did you learn to fly? He smiled, touching the heartroot feather at his chest. I had to remember my dream, he answered softly, and believe that it was never truly lost. That night, the village celebrated under lantern-lit boughs. But Elion felt the greatest celebration within. His journey to Lenora had shown him that the forest's guardians lived not just in enchanted realms, but in every choice to confront fear, forgive regret, and embrace hope. Years later, Elion would teach children to build kites and wings of their own, sharing the story of the moonlight mirror and the heartroot tree. And though Lenora would remain hidden until the next century, its magic endured in every heart that dared to dream. As moonlight bathed the world in serene silver, Elion drifted into sleep. His childhood dream, no longer a secret memory, but the guiding star of every tomorrow. And that, dear dreamer, is the end of our journey through Lenora's moonlit woods. If this story carried you to new heights of wonder, please give the video a like. If you're visiting Dreamy Sleep Tales for the first time, hit subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss another sleepy adventure. Don't forget to share this video with anyone who could use a touch of magic before bed. I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, which part of the forest where dreams wait fascinated you the most, or how it made you feel? Your thoughts help our community grow and inspire new tales each night. Sleep well, and I'll see you in your dreams.